Hello. Right now we are going to take a look at using algebraic properties to to basically support all of our claims when we are solving an equation. So let us say, for example, that I've got 4x plus 3 equals 23. When solving this, of course, the first thing that I want to do is I want to look for ways where I can isolate my variable, where I can isolate x. And I'm going to work a little bit backwards here through the normal order of operations in order to make sure that this will all work. I'm adding 3 right here to the 4x, so I know that I want to get this 3 out of here. I want to subtract 3 from both sides. And my normal inclination is to write like that, but what I'm going to say is for right now, our focus is going to be on proving why all this is true and why it works. So instead, I'm going to rewrite this whole equation here, but I'm going to include my step. So plus 3, here's what I've got so far, and here's the new stuff. I'm going to add my minus 3 here. I'm going to add my minus 3 here to both sides. And I know that is true by the subtraction property of equality. And really, this is like my first step to solving it. So if I was going to list this out, I could say that my first, actually quite technically, I suppose my first step would be starting with what I was given. And this I'm just given this. This is my reason. This is why. So think about along each step, why am I doing this? My second step right here, why? Why am I able to do this stuff here in blue? Why? Well, the subtraction property lets me subtract on the one side of the equation as long as I do the same thing on the other side. That preserves the equality. Now for my next step, I would say that 4x is equal to 20, right? Why am I able to do this? Well, because that's the other question that we should be asking ourselves, because this is actually my third step here. Why? Well, the substitution property allows us to say this. I know that 4x plus 3 minus 3 is equal to 4x. So what I'm doing effectively here is I'm taking where I had this before, and I'm substituting that. This was on the left side of the equation. This was, I don't want to draw too many arrows here, but this was right there on the left. I'm substituting this for that because this helps us, I think, solve the equation a little bit more easily. We don't see all the other stuff, and I just drew that line right through substitution. C'est la vie. I think we can still see that all right. Similarly, I'm just going to change up colors a little bit here to make this clear. I know that 23 minus 3 is equal to 20. So again, right here, this 23 minus 3 is the same thing that I had here. I'm going to replace that. I'm going to substitute, and substitution property, with this 20 right here. That goes right there. So I'm substituting on both sides in order to really simplify it. When we're saying simplify, what we're really saying is substitute something that is simpler to see for something of the same value. That's really what simplify means. So when you see substitution property, you should kind of start be thinking about simplify. These two things kind of go hand in hand. Now I've got 4x equals 20. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. and the multiplication property, or excuse me, division property allows us to do that. If I divide on one side, I can divide on the other by the same thing. My next step would be, well, 4x divided by 4 leaves me just with x. 20 divided by 4 leaves me just with 5. What property allows me to say this? I'm simplifying, so the substitution property would allow me to do this. And this is really what all this is about. Now that I've actually been able to prove every step along the way, I've backed everything up. It's not just like magic and hand waving here. I'm able to say I did step 1, well, step 1 was what was given to me. Step 2, subtraction property. Step 3, substitution. Everything I did along the way had a reason for why I did it, and I was able to support that. If you're thinking about these reasons, it will help make your solving of the equations for the variables a bit easier, and you'll be able to explain it much more clearly. All right, review these properties, bring in your questions, and have an awesome day.